Unfortunately, Zest had to pull out, so Zest replaced by Keen, the next player on the standings for the WardiTV Weekly Season 1. And he will be going up against Gumiho, Solar, and... the final player is Namshar as well, of course. And then the week after, the Nachi will take a break while I Am Katowice goes on. When we come back from Katowice, there's going to be Snoot, Hero, Stats, and Jachi in Group D. So, let's kick this off. We're going to start to the top left-hand side of the map. It is going to be the blue Terran player. It is aLive. And I think I accidentally forgot to invite the Chinese caster. So, my bad. Alright, to the bottom right-hand side from OSC Root, the green Zerg player. Give it up for... Oh, no. For DemiLove. My mouse was going a little bit crazy there, wasn't it? We were like meant to do this, and we were like, wah! Something like that. It was... that was a little bit messy. Anyways, we're getting set up ready to go, see what's going to happen here in game number 1 of the best of 3 cross spawns on Cactus Valley. It does feel as though for the past week or so we've seen so many cross spawns on this map. Just time after time after time, I feel as though we've seen these cross spawn locations and all the rest of it. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. We're going to see the gas hatch pool coming on up from DemiLove. You're going to see a barracks on the way up here as well here for aLive, so he's setting that up and getting ready to go. I'm just looking to see what will happen next. So Barrack's going to finish, Reaper starts up. And that's something else we get in the house. I completely forgot about the potential of the phone ringing. Wow, how exciting, see? Isn't it fun casting from home? That's crazy, I completely forgot the phone can ring here. Oh wow. The issues we arrive at. It's crazy. Alright, anyways, we'll see some overlords starting to move up the right hand side along the bottom side of the map as well. Having a little bit of a look to see what's going on and what is happening. Again, with the early Reaper and the second Rax, we're just looking to see a 2-1-1 opening out of aLive. Look to pressure early and just look to see where he can go from there. Now, DemiLove definitely, I would say, the underdog of this group, but he definitely has got the ability to bring it to these players, I would say. I actually kind of, I can't say this for certain, but I do feel as though he's played aLive sometime recently, and even if he didn't win the series, I feel as though he actually took aLive into some pretty long games. Now, I'm saying this here, and he might just die to the first push, but I do feel as though he's definitely stood his own ground against a lot of these Korean players as of late. And again, I mean, that's the great thing, DemiLove from the C region. These regions continue to get stronger and continue to see new players arise. I mean, DemiLove isn't necessarily a new player for someone who's been watching a lot of online cups for a long time and people who really look deep down in the scene. But he might be a new player for a lot of you guys, and for a lot of you people who, a lot of you guys in the chat who maybe just watch a lot of the events, the IEMs, the Dream Hacks, and all the rest of it. I mean, even if you watch a lot of online stuff, you might have seen DemiLove here and there, but you're not likely to have seen him make a deeper run. So what I'm trying to say is he might be a new face to a lot of you guys, but he has been playing for a long time, and he's been playing in these tournaments for a long time as well. Especially in the OSC events, he's one of the highest participating players. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, he won the participation bonus prize. And he does try and play in as many OSC events as he can. As aLive, first team Marines going to catch an Overlord. Well, that is not great for DemiLove here right away. I mean, it's never fun to lose an Overlord, and especially so early. It's just going to... Oh, the pneumatized carapace save! Didn't even see it coming in, and that's a 1 HP Overlord getting away to the top side. DemiLove. Oh man, the Overlord kicks in with the 1H with the pneumatized carapace just in time. And he gets the way up to the top. That is a little bit frustrating there for aLive, because that was so nearly exactly how he wanted it to go. Alright, moving in towards the center, this Reaper will run in towards the Zergling here, and we are going to see that Zergling taken down. Overlord scouting around in the main base as well as the factory about to finish up a reactor, the starport next to it able to lift onto that in the very near future, and that's going to be some medevacs on the way out as the factory moves on down. We'll land just south of the starport, and obviously we'll see what that wants to do next. Tech Lab is a possibility, just in towards a siege tank or two to stay safe and make an aggressive push in the mid game. We could just see it building a reactor already and getting ready for the mid game too. There's so many different things you can do with this factory at this point of the game. Let's see what exactly aLive wants to get done. For now, just a single engineering bay, which does suggest maybe 5 racks, very aggressive playstyle. And there is a Cyclone, 2 more, and they're the first 2 medevacs. Let's see how many more medevacs he makes as well, because if he makes 2, then he's definitely looking to really keep on the pressure, and that would make a lot of sense with the Cyclone. He might just make 1 and a Viking or something. Let's see what he does. We do see the first 16 Marines loading up, and they're going to start heading out onto the map. So they're going to start heading down towards the bottom right-hand side, where DemiLove, well, he's set up quite nicely. 47 drones to the 38 SCVs. He's got 5 queens sat at the third base. And he's got a few Zerglings on the way out as well to help. The Baneling Nest starts now, which is perfect because you don't need it for this first two, for these first 2 medevacs. You need it for the second 2 medevacs or the follow-up attack. So that's going to be there in plenty of time as well as the Queen's coming in and good damage onto the first medevac. DemiLove pushes this away aLive, taking a little bit of damage, doesn't lose anything, but does lose a lot of potential to stay on the map with one of those medevacs already being so low. Cyclone moving out in towards the center now as well. So again, just kind of back this up. I mean, the next medevac should be moving along shortly too. So 7 more Marines, and that is still a scary kind of phase of this push. When you don't lose anything at the first push, your second push has so much power in it, and that is why you need to have those Banelings ready. But DemiLove, he looks as though he's going to have them. Morphs in sick, 4 so far. He has gas for a couple more as well if he would like to. His lair on the way up as a macro hatch comes down the main. And DemiLove continues to set up into pretty much everything he needs here. Carapace coming in as his first upgrade off the Evo chamber. As here we go, Marines will stem forwards, Lings are going to walk on in, and they have to be a little bit careful, have to make sure those Queens are nearby to target down the medevacs. I think aLive just sent one of the medevacs. No, he actually lost one of the medevacs. I thought he might have just sent it home, but apparently he did lose it just during this little skirmish there, so I missed that one myself. As he does just take the opportunity to drop into the main. Ling's already here and ready to go. Taking a little while to wrap around, but they do get there eventually. The Banes very soon to follow. And the Queen's once again in position, trying to get more damage onto the medevacs here. Great play so far by DemiLove. He's doing everything right at this point, and just needs to make sure he's still making enough units. He's still got a good drone count. Just needs to keep up with that as he... I think the one issue for DemiLove is he didn't lose too much, he didn't kill too much, but he did actually lose a few Zerglings here and there, and a couple of those engagements could have been just a little bit cleaner, you know, slightly faster surrounds, and, you know, instead of actually, he felt like he moved commanded a little bit more than he needed to in a couple of those surrounding situations, so... We do see some Marines, a Marauder, and a Siege Tank moving out from aLive from the top left-hand side. That's going to move in towards the center of the map now. And there's these 2 medevacs of aLive going to be moving around as well to see what exactly they can get up to here in the next few moments. +1 melee, just over quarter of the way done, and well, you know, just going to keep on moving in from aLive again. Just looking to see what he can get up to, looking to see what he can do here. And as we're going to have more Marines, another Marauder continue to come down as well, and backed up by a Siege Tank. Siege Tanks in this high ground position towards the third base are going to be very frustrating for DemiLove to deal with. That said, I mean, a lot of these units are fairly low health from aLive, you know, from having stimmed multiple times. Here we go, DemiLove Bane Speed completes right on time as well, and so he can attack on into this now. Queens need to get onto that Liberator ASAP, and they do start targeted down. And nice transfuses to keep them alive as Marines dropping back out of these medevacs, but the Lings and Banes, they keep rolling forwards. This is going to be enough, and last Baneling actually does quite a lot of damage. Siege Tank will now fall. Queens moving forwards to try and help once again, but they can't get that much further forwards because of the lack of creep threat here, so Marines and Marauder from aLive will once again turn this away, push these Queens back over to the left-hand side. A few Zerglings running in, Banes continue to come on up as well. And drones once again just taking a little bit more damage as Lings to go for that wraparound. Queen's still targeting from the low ground, but it's actually just the medevacs they're trying to take down as aLive. Might just have a bit too much. Another wave of Banelings could be what DemiLove needs, but the Siege Tank and the Marines do get rid of those nice and quickly. And now, well, we see so much Marine Marauder left over, and DemiLove barely has anything at all. And this aggressive push with a very late third command stand out of aLive is going to work out for him as we see the third base just going to be overrun by Terran units, and that's going to be falling here in the next couple of moments. And from here, DemiLove is going to have a tough time. I mean, yes, he does have a base up to the left-hand side, but as aLive establishes a third base, that's when DemiLove wants a fourth base, not to be replaced in his third base with a fourth base on the left-hand side. So this is not looking great at all as we see another few Zerglings just going down here. Tank siege jump once again. Here we go. Lings and Banes running forwards. The target firing from tanks is very good to get rid of those immediately. And now the Queens will go down too. And that, my friends, will be GG as aLive picks up the first game of the day in the WardiTV Weekly Season 1 Finals, Group B. Different ways to support. You can subscribe, you can donate, you can cheer in the chat. Of course, if you can't afford to do any of that, you can, of course, or you don't want to spend money on doing any of that, you can just hit that follow button, see when we're live again in the future. Keep on watching the events and all the rest, because that's a great way to support as well, of course. Alright, top left-hand side of the map, it is going to be the blue Terran player. It is aLive. And he's going up against the red Zerg player now, to the bottom right-hand side from OSC Root. Let's see if he can bounce back in game 2. It's DemiLove. And to be fair, I mean, the initial stage of that last game was pretty okay for him. Again, I do feel he maybe lost just a few too many Zerglings here or there against the initial couple medevacs, even though it wasn't that many. It may just have not been the best of help when considering that aLive has been very aggressive with only 2 bases behind it. And as we do just see, drones on the way out, hatchery drops down the low ground, and we're going to be seeing an Overlord or 2 moving out onto the map. So Overlord's moving onto the map, we've seen Extractor being taken as well. So hatch gas pool, nothing crazy here on Abyssal Reef. Now Abyssal Reef, probably one of the best maps in the map pool right now to play mech on. Not sure if aLive is going to do that here, not sure if he feels the need to play mech on the map. Against DemiLove, if he feels confident in the bio play, I mean there's no necessity for him to play mech basically. You know, he could do if he really wanted to, but he doesn't have to, as we do see a Reaper on the way up from aLive. So Reaper on the way up from aLive right now, and you're just going to be seeing this SCV coming back down to the low ground, getting ready to come over here and drop down a CC, it would seem. So CC going to be dropped down on the natural expansion, and you'll see this Reaper just on the way up, about halfway done. Spawn pool will finish behind the mineral line here in a moment or two. And we're just going to be seeing the Queen starting and everything else, nothing crazy. So Abyssal Reef, nice large map. Obviously, again, we might see mech, and already we do see a factory-based follow-up rather than the 2-1-1. So aLive will change his build order, no matter what here. So changing the build order. The reason it's so good for mech is you can just see how easily the 3rd base gets taken, then a 4th base out the front or 4th base over here. They're also easily held by tanks, etc. And you know, some of the weaknesses of these bases are the high ground ledges, the high ground, low ground ledges, and the fact the minerals face the ledge. But if you've got siege tanks, that's so easily dealt with, so it's not really an issue, as we do see an Overlord to the top side from DemiLove just moving around. So Overlord coming up to the top, looking to see where he can go, and this Reaper from aLive moving in towards this mineral line, and we'll just try and do a little bit of damage. Grenade goes down, Queen gonna get blasted by this grenade. No 3rd hatchery just yet from DemiLove. I mean, we're not at the 3-minute marker just yet, so could put it, I guess we'll put it down shortly. Doesn't have Pneumatized Carapace this time either, so changing up his build slightly compared to on Cactus Valley. As you see, the Reaper just sat just to the side, now waiting to just block a drone from moving towards that 3rd hatchery. So that is a nuisance here. aLive not able to quite be able to move on over. As you see, some Zerglings still just sat to the north side of this main base. Still just sat up here. You see this Overlord moving in towards the main base too, and again, just DemiLove getting ready to scout as aLive gets set up for a Hellion drop in the very near future. Something we've been seeing more and more of. In fact, not just a Hellion drop, just a straight up Hellbat attack. Okay, so we have been seeing a lot of these lately. A lot more Hellbats, a lot more Hellion based playstyles in general. They weren't the most popular builds throughout Legacy of the Void, especially because for a long time Nidus based builds were very, very powerful, and Roach based builds were very popular too. Now that it's kind of all about Lingbane Muta in the ZVT matchup once again, we are seeing a lot more of these Hellions come back into play, as we see some initial Marines going to get rid of the Overlord here. We'll still see the reactor on the factory, and we'll see the Tech Lab build on the barracks as well, as we see now aLive building a Liberator to follow up this medevac. So we're going to continue with the pressure and the idea of just harassing throughout now, as we do see a few more Overlords on the way up. The Rotron is dropping down, we'll be finishing shortly. And I'm just going to be seeing these few Queens again, looking around, see where else they can go. And just some more Marines dropping just down at the ramp. Hellions, a couple of them leading the charge, the Hellbats, some of them already morphed in, as here we go. Reaper has to pull back initially. That Reaper can be useful. I mean, drop a grenade down at the right time, you can still transfuse more or less, as actually the first 2 Queens don't have any transfuse on them at all. So he's already lost one. Momentarily there was taking damage on an Overlord, but I think DemiLove, I think aLive realizes he's got more things to kill here if he goes towards this mineral line and gets these drones instead. And as we've seen more Hellions coming in, they're just going to be able to sit here and fight these drones if they actually start fighting instead of moving. And that's going to be that right now. 12 workers down, and already just aLive putting himself into such a great position here. 15 workers down. Such a great position here in game number... Whoa, in game number 2, this medevac just staying alive. The Queen going down as well. And that's going to be these Hellbats able to just get a little bit more done. I mean, no further drones killed, but still, I mean, killing another Queen, always going to be great. 2 more workers, 3 more workers in the natural expansion as Hellions come back in. Finally now enough Roaches are up, but you can see the follow-up already from aLive is so dedicated to making sure he doesn't just die to massive Roaches. Banshee production, Cyclone production, even reactoring out Marines. He's making sure that everything he makes right now will be enough, will just be units to help him hold off against what is becoming a very aggressive attack right here. Liberator in the natural expansion as well is not just denying mine time, but also is picking off a whole bunch of reproducing units, lava as well, and that will just slow DemiLove down in terms of fighting against this as he goes across the map with an all-in attack, 17 drones to the 39 SCVs. He's lost so much right now. He has to get something done with this army, but how do you get something done when there's a Banshee, when there's Cyclones as well? I mean, yeah, he's got a lot of units here, but I think the reality is, especially as the Banshee comes into play. Where's the first Banshee, actually? First Banshee was a little bit out in the center of the map, so small mistake. Nice micro of the medevac, though, to pick the Cyclones to the high ground, and that right there is going to be GG, unfortunately, for DemiLove. He cannot hold on against the onslaught of aLive, and aLive will take